Well, here we are at Lightbox. The sun's very bright here. It's a beautiful day, and there are three main buildings. Inside that building appears to be some private rooms for the presenters, and that's the main exhibition centre there, where there's a large hall where big presentations will be taking place, and an exhibition area for the artists to put the work out there. In that building is a series of smaller rooms. It was packed yesterday afternoon. I got into one presentation for about 30 minutes. That's a very, very busy place, and you really got to time everything here to try and maximise your time and get in to see things that you want to see. Anyway, that area in there is filled with restaurants and stores, and you can see the mountains in the distance there. So I'm hoping to hook up with a couple of people today. I've already been contacted by one, and looking forward to meeting them later. See how the day goes. Bye for now. smart people here brought umbrellas. That's okay, you can be in it too. Very hot here and there's no cover, but I just have to grin and bear it. Sometimes things just work out, and for me they did on Sunday when I was trying to get back to the airport to fly back here to Toronto. So I went back to my hotel after the expo had finished, picked up my bag, my backpack, and went out onto Colorado, called for an Uber. Couldn't get a connection for whatever reason. Tried many times and then decided to walk back up towards the expo area. And as I did, I continually tried and eventually had to call Uber and say, hey, what's going on? I can't get through. And yeah, of course, sir, did you turn it on and off? Yeah, I did that. Can you delete and reattach the app? Yes, I will. Still couldn't get anything. So I'm standing in the pedestrian area outside that restaurant on Colorado, and across the street is a post office, and I thought, maybe it's a connection, I'll walk over there. So I stood at the corner trying again, and all of a sudden an Uber pulls up right in front of me. Oh my God, how did that happen? But it turns out it's for these three guys that were standing next to me. They were saying goodbye to each other, and one gentleman's getting into the car. And I said, excuse me, are you going to the airport by chance? Yes, I am, the guy said. Do you mind if we split the bill? He says, absolutely, jump in. Turns out this is Matthew Lyne, Professor of Animation at Centennial College here in the Toronto area. And like, how lucky could I get to find someone who was going to the airport and willing to split the tab? Well, of course, he didn't accept my offering, but I made sure he had a pint at the airport. Such a nice individual, very caring, giving, seems willing to do anything for anybody, and told me a couple of real interesting stories. So, you know, I really owe Matthew a big one, and I'll have to find out a way of getting that to him. So, yeah, there are just so many people out there who are positive thinking, willing to do anything for you, happy to help, and Matthew Lyne is one of them. Big shout out to you, Matthew. So I hope you enjoyed that little tour of Lightboxexpo. It certainly was a tremendous event. It's jam-packed with people, and the fascinating thing, everywhere you looked there was somebody in lines sketching. It was just fascinating. So I arrived there late Friday and you know, made my way to the main hall and get checked in, and then try to find my way around. And it just seemed that in the second building, there are huge lineups to get into all of those rooms. And it was very difficult to judge whether it'd be worthwhile standing in line, whether you would get in or not, because the lines seemed to meld one into another, and that was very frustrating. I was able to get in to see Designing Peculiar Creatures with Greg Baldwin, which was really quite interesting, how he built up his characters. So that was enjoyable, and glad I made that one. And I tried to watch the demos at the stations around the main building there, but it was difficult trying to find a spot where I could see everything and be comfortable. I think it would have been much better if those individuals, and some of them were some of the best in the house, let's say, if we'd have been able to get them into a room so that more people could have seen them work. And I know that the challenge was to get as many people into some of those rooms as possible within the restrictions of the fire marshal, etc. But I would really have liked to have been able to go to some of these and sit down, because I was doing a lot of walking, and many times I had to stand leaning up against the wall in some of the rooms I was able to get into. Anyway, Saturday was quite different. I saw parts of demos by Ben Morrow, Armand Serrano, Sparth. I got into the Neville Page presentation, which was interesting. Not what I expected, but hey, it was good information regardless. Caught part of the Marvel panel, and I got into the John Burton demo presentation, which was really very good. I enjoyed that, and I spoke with John after the fact. I got a chance to sit down with Nikolai Lockhurst and try and get some tips on how to use Procreate. Really nice guy, very friendly, and very happy to try and help me out. So that was great. That was, I think that was a highlight. And Aaron Blaze, I got to sit in one of his demos, and I was able to get a seat and sit down with a tablet and a pen and do a sketch rendering a wolf, which was, I was really pleased with what I came up with, and I took a photograph of it for posterity. So, as I said, Saturday was very, very busy. And the one thing that comes out of this, you really need to plan carefully who you want to see, what you want to see, and just stay focused on that. And I must admit, I wasn't really focused enough. I was just trying to absorb as much as I could. Anyway, Sunday came around, and I was able to get some of those great free books that I saw everybody carrying out on the Saturday. And it was worthwhile standing in the line, although I probably gave up seeing some presentation, but these books are phenomenal. White Clouds was a great book, and I got that. I think I got the original book from Weta Studios down at San Diego Comic Con, and I think it was around about $50, so a great value, and that was a tremendous PR job to give out all those books. So I carried 3 around and in my backpack for the rest of the day, and it was awful. Like, I was totally drained because walking around outside and then walking around and standing watching people was difficult. Getting to see Peter Han, but unfortunately the equipment wouldn't work, and the room was jam-packed with people, and that was very disappointing. But you got to hand it to Peter and take my hat off to Peter. He told everybody, come outside, we'll find a spot against a wall and I'll sketch out there. And they did that. And I followed him around for a little while before I moved on. One of the highlights was Jama Jurabev. If you haven't seen Jama, not only is he entertaining in his presentation, but he does the most fascinating stuff. And to my surprise and delight, he pointed out that over my shoulder, 2 rows behind me, was Scott Robertson. I turned around, there he was, like, wow, I'm not going to be a fanboy here. I'll wait until the class is over and go outside and say hi. Unfortunately, he'd slipped out before the class was over, but that was fascinating stuff that Jama was doing. Just incredible. Maybe you'll get a chance to see what he did, and if it was recorded, I'll certainly be looking for that one again. So all in all, it was great for me to go to Pasadena. I managed to get into one of the hotel deals, albeit it was a 15-20 minute walk down Colorado. The hotel was nice, the people were very friendly and helpful. I met some people in line. I was hoping to meet some people that follow me on Instagram, but unfortunately that didn't happen. Yeah, I met a couple of nice guys, Ryan and Chris, in the lineup on, I think it was a Saturday. Huge lineup. You know, I understand that, you know, the fire marshal, the police didn't want 1,000 people standing in the open area waiting to get in. So we're winding around the building, and it seemed to take forever to get in there. Did that a couple of times, so it was that was quite tiring. But hats off to Bobby Chew for sure. And you know, I understand why he doesn't do it in Toronto, because everybody's down in Los Angeles. And congratulations on a great expo. Recommend it to anybody that's interested in the arts, and especially concept art for TV and film. For me personally, it was great because I just got to see so much stuff and see what other people are able to do, and fascinated by what they were able to create. I was definitely out of my depth because I never had any art training. I just draw, sketch, whatever you want to call it, and trying to learn or pick up whatever I can along the way so that I can get into Photoshop, Procreate, etc. So as I said, great expo, great people, wonderful artists doing demos and talks, great idea, and congratulations to you, Bobby, for pulling all this together. Bye for now.